This is a land that holds its breath, a world of absolute white, stretched taut beneath a sky of bruised, perpetual twilight. The air itself is a crystalline entity, sharp and burning, a force that must be negotiated with every inhalation. The temperature is not merely a number on a gauge, it is a physical presence, a weight that presses down, silencing the world, slowing time itself. It is 71 degrees below zero. This is the Oymyakon Valley, in the heart of Siberia's winter, a place so cold that a single, unguarded moment can be fatal, where exposed skin freezes in less than a minute, and the very spit from a man's mouth will turn to ice before it hits the ground. Here, life exists on a razor's edge. The colossal, snow-draped taiga and the vast, wind-scoured tundra are not a wilderness to be conquered, but a demanding, sacred home. For the few who endure here, survival is not an abstract concept. It is a daily, deliberate ritual. It is measured in stacked firewood, in the warmth of a reindeer pelt, and in the success of the hunt. The hunt is not for sport. It is not for trophy. It is for life itself.
It's cold this morning, but at least we have plenty of tea for the journey.
This is the story of one such hunt. It is the story of a man named Anatoli and his nephew, Artyom. Their mission is simple and absolute. They must find food. They must cross this frozen expanse, listen to its secrets, and ask it for sustenance. They will venture into the silence, guided by the wisdom of generations, to perform a dance as old as humanity itself. Anatoli's cabin sits in a small clearing, its log walls buried to the eaves in drifted snow, smoke rising in a thin, gray column from its chimney. The only sign of life for miles. Inside, the preparation is a silent, methodical sacrament. Anatoli, a man in his late 60s with a face carved from weathered leather, checks his rifle. His movements are economical, precise. Each component is cleaned, oiled, and reassembled with a reverence that borders on prayer. This tool is not just steel and wood. It is the line between his family and starvation. His nephew, Artyom, 20 years younger, but with the same calm, watchful eyes, prepares the uman, the small iron stove they will take on their sled. He packs bricks of frozen tea, slabs of hardtack, and a small pouch of sugar. There are no luxuries here. Every gram of weight is a calculation of energy expended versus energy gained. They dress in layers. First, soft reindeer underfur, then thick wool, and finally, an outer shell of heavy, treated reindeer hide, the hair pointing outward to shed the wind. Their Valenki boots, made of thick felt, are pulled on, and their ushanka hats, with flaps tied securely under the chin, complete the transformation. They become creatures of the cold, insulated and anonymous. The door opens, and the cold strikes like a physical blow. It is a cold that steals sound, a cold that makes the air feel solid. Their breath explodes in thick, boiling clouds that cling to their beards and eyelashes, instantly frosting them. The world outside is unnervingly silent. The only sound is the crunch of their own boots on the pukana,
in the winter
the deep,
forest,
crystalline snow that squeaks underfoot at these extreme temperatures. They move towards a waiting sled, hitched to a small team of hardy Yakutian horses, their shaggy coats thick with ice. The journey begins. The sled runners hiss over the snow, a sound that seems deafening in the absolute quiet. The taiga unfolds around them, a monochrome tapestry of white and gray. Frost-covered larch trees stand like silent sentinels, their branches heavy with a burden of snow. Anatoli's eyes, barely visible between his hat and his fur-lined collar, are constantly moving. They scan the tree line, read the snowdrifts, interpret the subtle language of the land. He is not just looking for game. He is listening to the mood of the forest. Hours pass. The landscape is a study in stillness. The sheer scale of it is humbling. A single human, A single sled is an insignificant speck in this immense, frozen universe. The cold is a persistent enemy. It seeps through the smallest gap in their clothing. It bites at the tips of their noses. It makes the metal of the rifle burn to the touch. They stop occasionally to drink tea from a thermos, the liquid already cooling the moment it is poured into the cup. They do not speak. Words are precious, and warmth is more precious still. Anatoli raises a mittened hand. The sled slows to a halt. He points, a subtle gesture towards a disturbance in the snow ahead. Artyom follows his gaze. Tracks. The prints of a snowshoe hare, recent and clear. It is a small sign, but a sign of life nonetheless. It is a thread in the tapestry. They do not follow it. The hare is too small for their needs, but its presence is a message from the land. Life persists. They press on, deeper into the valley, where the wind has scoured the snow from the frozen rivers, leaving surfaces of sheer, black ice. It is here that Anatoli's focus intensifies. He is searching for something larger. He is searching for the izuber, the Siberian elk. They make camp in the lee of a rocky outcrop, a place that offers scant protection from the wind. The Uman is lit, its tiny flame a defiant beacon in the gathering dusk. The orange glow on their faces is the only color in a world of blue and gray. They thaw their bread by the stove, the simple act of eating a profound and necessary pleasure. As night falls, the temperature plummets further. The stars emerge, not as twinkling pinpricks, but as hard, brilliant diamonds stabbed into the velvet black of the sky. The aurora borealis begins to dance, a silent, ethereal curtain of green and violet light. It is a moment of breathtaking beauty, a celestial spectacle that feels both a gift and a mockery. Here, at the very edge of human endurance, exists one of the planet's most magnificent wonders. Anatoli looks up, his frosted face tilted to the heavens. He does not speak, but his stillness is a form of reverence. This is his cathedral. The next day brings no game. They find more tracks, a fox, a sable, but no elk. A subtle tension begins to build. Their supplies are finite. The weather, for now, is stable. But in Siberia, that can change in an instant. Artyom's youthful optimism begins to wane, replaced by a grim determination that mirrors his uncle's. They push further, following a route known only to Anatoli, a path imprinted on his memory from a lifetime of traversing this land. On the third day, they find it. A set of massive, heart-shaped hoof prints leading into a dense stand of larch. The izuber. Anatoli's entire demeanor changes. The quiet observer becomes the hunter. His movements are now fluid, predatory. He signals to Artyom to tether the horses and prepare. They will continue on foot. The world shrinks to the path of these tracks. The only sounds are their own controlled breathing and the soft, crushing step of their boots. They move like ghosts through the trees, their dark forms stark against the snow. The forest is thicker here, the silence more profound. Anatoli stops, holding up a closed fist. He has seen something. He slowly, imperceptibly, raises his rifle, using a tree for support. Artyom holds his breath. 50 meters away, partially obscured by branches, stands the elk. It is a colossal animal, a monument of muscle and fur, its breath pluming in great, steady clouds. It is unaware, a king in its frozen domain. This is the critical moment, the moment of risk and triumph. A single sound, a misplaced step, and the animal will vanish into the trees. And with it, days of effort and a vital source of food. Anatoli's finger rests on the trigger guard. He does not rush. He becomes a part of the landscape, as still as the trees around him. The crosshairs of his scope settle. The world holds its breath. The crack of the rifle is a violent, shocking tear in the fabric of silence. It echoes once, then is swallowed by the immense quiet. The elk stumbles, then falls. There is no chase, no struggle. It is a clean, efficient end. The reverence returns immediately. The act of killing is not one of celebration, but of solemnity. They approach the fallen animal. Anatoli places a hand on its still warm flank. He murmurs a few quiet words in Yakut, a thanks to the spirit of the animal, a thanks to the land for its provision. This is not a kill, it is a sacrifice. It is the ancient contract between hunter and hunted. The work that follows is arduous, performed with skilled, swift hands in the brutal cold. Steam rises from the body cavity as it is opened, a final, warm breath offered to the frozen air. They butcher the meat, carefully wrapping the precious, life-giving flesh in clean canvas. The work is done with respect, with a sense of purpose that transcends mere butchery. This animal will feed not just Anatoli and Artyom, but their entire family for weeks. Its hide will become clothing. Its sinew will become thread. The return journey is heavier, the sled laden with the fruits of their labor. The same landscape that seemed so empty and hostile days before now feels different. It has provided. The silence is no longer threatening, but profound. The cold is no longer just an enemy, but a defining characteristic of a world that has, for a moment, allowed them to exist within it. They arrive back at the cabin as the sun, a pale orange sliver on the horizon, begins to set. The light is long and blue, casting deep shadows across the snow. The meat is stored in a frozen cache, a larder that needs no lock, protected by the cold that once threatened them. Inside the cabin, the warmth from the fire feels earned.
In the heart of the great forest, where shadows dance and secrets sleep, there lived a spirit.
Anatoli sits by the stove, sipping his tea, his mission complete. There is no boasting, no triumphant tale. There is only the quiet satisfaction of a task fulfilled, a duty to his family and his way of life completed. This is the rhythm of life at 71 below zero, a rhythm of patience, of silence, of profound connection to a land that gives nothing freely. It is the existence carved from ice, sustained by a wisdom passed down through countless winters. It is a testament to the human spirit's ability to not just endure, but to find meaning and even beauty in the most extreme corners of the earth. In the world's coldest land,
We'll be eating soon,
survival
just
is
a
not an
little
act of
while longer.
defiance, it is a way of life.
I have to repair this tent.
Woof! Woof!